Hi everyone, welcome to the next episode of building the GT40 replica chassis from our laser cut tube kit. In this episode we're going to put the side sills on, which are the areas where the fuel tanks would go. In this video you're going to need T20018, two of those. Important to point out here, it's got a series of holes on the inside of the tube. This one's in the centre and lines up with a pair of holes in the main cockpit side of the tube. The pair of holes that's closest to the centre ones goes towards the rear of the chassis. In addition to these two tubes, we'll need the two T20017. We'll need two T2016, two 015s, four T2001, and lastly four T2014s. In order to do this, we need to make ourselves a little jig just to keep everything in alignment. So what I'm going to do is strap a couple of long tubes across the top of the chassis to support these tubes, which go like so down the length. Right, so as you can see, I've strapped these two hefty tubes across the chassis outside to provide us with a way to support this tube at a distance and know that it's still flat across the chassis. Before we clamp that in place, we can take the T2016 tube and tack that in like that, so that we can then socket it in to this tube and know that we've got the right position before we clamp it up and set it all square. And next we can take the T2001 tubes, socket those in at the front. Attach them. And one at the rear. Okay, sorry for the jump forward in this section, but the phone ran out of storage and I didn't realise I'd missed capturing doing all of it. So basically, after having put the T2001 tubes in and getting it squared up with the T2018s, we've got to put a T2017 tube in here at the front, and this 15 one at the back, and these T2014 diagonal tubes that you can see go from the front to the centre and from the back to the centre. You need to put the 17 and the 15 tube in first, but obviously you just need to probably offer the T214 tube up just so that you can sort of check that you've got this angle on this the right way round. This triangulation in the top here is sort of a main feature of the chassis, in that it gives us a degree of side impact protection that like rival GT40 replicas don't give us, and helps obviously stiffen up the chassis. Right, so the next thing to do is put the diagonal triangulation in here that supports this whole section, and then obviously do the other side. Okay, so that put that other side sill on, and the video, well, the phone ran out of capacity yesterday, putting the other side on, so I hope it was clear enough how that goes. Essentially T2001 at each end, a T2018 down the length of it. Make sure they're square, which the T2014 tubes, which are the triangulated ones, which help give us a bit of side impact protection on the chassis. It's actually one of the unique features about our chassis compared to others. They go in and they will actually help prevent it being parallelogramming. And then you've got the T217 and 15 tubes, front and rear, that connect from the sides to those 14 diagonal ones. just remember to double check the orientation of the angle on the 17 and 15 tubes. Otherwise you'll find out when you go to put the diagonal in, it's round the wrong way and it's a bit of a pain. So just double check that before you put them in. Right, last thing which I didn't show on the other side is these two V1 tubes which go in diagonally to support the front and rear of this side sill frame. So there we go, the other side on. Okay, so the T3 tubes that we made into the dash frame sub-assembly before are required. We also need this, a pair of these, and these are, for reference, V1002. On one end you'll see it's got one peg, on the other end it's got two pegs. So the one peg goes at the bottom and goes into the T2001 tubes at the front of the side sill, and also you've got the peg is on the outboard side of the chassis. Like so. So there's one of those either side, and that's what the dash frame sits on. You have to put those in first. But this is where it gets a little bit tricky when you're doing it on your own. Trying to hold this up and get alignments is pretty tricky. So the magnetic clamps come in rather useful. Okay, so that's got that tacked on. Next thing to do is we do the two vertical tubes that go at the very front of the chassis. Then we'll connect that back to the dash frame. Okay, so that's the V1008 tubes at the front, and V1 022 and 023 that go up like that. Maybe that's a bit clearer. Next we have these tubes, which is V1 026 and 025. going like so. Right, so that's that little bit done. It's starting to look pretty sexy in my opinion. I do enjoy these final stages when they start to really come together. Okay, so the final part of attaching the dash frame and connecting it up to the main chassis is to put these next 6 tubes in. So I've clipped in V10027 and V10028 on the other side, V10005, which fits in here and the same on the other side, and V10004 fits across there like so. In addition to those 6 tubes, we've got some plates to put on, which I was thinking of doing in a separate video, but as they apply to this, it's probably worth doing it here. So we have this plate, which is what picks up the door hinge. We have this small triangular plate, which welds across the top of the steering frame. I'll change the camera angle later when I put these on so you can see exactly where it goes. And lastly, for this section, these plates which fit back here and which the rear pillars of the roof bolt down onto. So I'll tack all that in, And then we'll have a closer look at where those plates go before calling that a day for this video. So first of all, to tack the 6 tubes that I first spoke about.